cuties, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and in this video we are going to make our teddy bear and Christmas gift block. This is block 11 of your Christmas Lane block of the month, and this tutorial is specifically for sewing machine applique. So I've gone on and gotten my applique background fabric pressed. It's setting aside. I set it aside, and then I have my applique pieces organized in order of how I'm going to build my applique units. So let's get started on getting our workspace in place and begin. So from my pattern, I'm going to have my instructions off to the side, and then I am going to have my applique placement guide right on top of my glass mat, which is on top of my light pad, and then of course my fusing mat will go on top. So the first unit that we're gonna build, well, actually, before we build a unit, we are going to draw our accent lines on pieces 16 and 19. So we're going to mark where we're going to put our eyes and that little line for the mouth. So all I'm going to do, you don't need your fusing mat just yet, ignore that, put it aside for a few more minutes. You're going to take either your Pigma pen or your Sew Line chalk pencil, and you can mark the little eyes. Boop. Easy peasy. And now for the little line on this, the Pigma pen probably will show, but I'm going to use my Sew Line chalk pencil because I think that's going to be a little bit easier when I get to my sewing machine to see it. So I'm just going to take a look. There we go. It's just one straight line, and then the little black nose will go right on top. So now we're ready to build our applique units, and we'll put our fusing mat in place. So the first unit we're going to build is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then our second unit is going to be our teddy bear. So the first unit is super, super easy. Second unit, it's not hard, but you do want to pay attention. It's got a lot of little pieces. So we're just going to work on that because you want to make sure you always have fusible side down. And of course, they're all very similar, but a little bit different. All right, so we have our two number ones going in place. And then I'm going to go on and put piece number 2 in place. There we go. So it overlaps onto the white. And then I'm going to give the white a little bit of a press so that it stays together enough to get to my background. Now we have our 2 stripes. And it's very important that you put the up and down stripe first. Let it peek. Yeah, right there. And it lines up perfectly with the top and bottom. And now we'll put our left and right stripe in place. And again, I can see through my fabric on my placement guide, but through the camera, you probably can't see my placement lines, but you'll be able to see yours, and that's what matters. Now we're gonna put our gift. This is a perfect rectangle, so it doesn't matter which direction, because this one, well, it does matter, it's a rectangle, so you do wanna have it shaped like a rectangle, horizontally, not vertically. This one had that little nook cut out, right? Then we have our bow, which we're just gonna turn until it fits. There we go. And this is a real delicate little bow, so you wanna be careful with it. And then our little center of our bow, which is this cute little dotted or daisy floral print. And we're gonna give that a press where it overlaps. So now that applique unit 1 is completely done. That took like no time at all, right? And I'm just gonna move my placement guide over so that we can see our teddy bear. So first up on our teddy bear, we have pieces 8 and 9. That's our left arm. So pieces 8 and 9. Again, really little pieces. Make sure you have the fusible side down. And then we have 9 and 10 over here. I'm sorry, 10 and 11, right? Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Yes, 10 and 11 on this side. And we'll put those in place. Again, fusible side down. And they're not a perfect circle, so you might have to turn it a little just to make sure you have it in the right spot. Give those both a quick press. Now we have the big body of our little bear. So cute. I think this color is called Honey, if I remember right. Don't hold me to that. I'm not 100%, but it's super cute. Little honeybee cross stitch. So now we're gonna put our left and right feet on. That was the right foot. And our left foot. There we go. And the heart right here in the center of him. And we're gonna give those a press. Now we'll put his little head. And remember, this has the eyes marked for us. There we go. And now his left and right ears. Oh my goodness, they're so little. And if you have your Alex Anderson 4-in-1 Essentials tool, doesn't hurt to pull that out now just because it kind of helps you get these little pieces in place. Like if you need to adjust where they are. I'm doing fine with my finger, but the little tool that I'm talking about has this little wooden point, and sometimes that helps. Maybe it's a little steadier than your hand sometimes, right? Or at least for me, I should say. And then what's gonna hold everything together right here is his happy little mouth and the black nose. And just get that lined up right at the beginning. So remember the accent line that we drew? The little point of the nose lines up with that. And now we have a super cute teddy bear. Oh, I love it. Okay, so we have our 2 units. It's time to put them on our background fabric. So per usual, just gently pull it up. And if he's still a little hot, shake him in the air. Doo, doo, doo. And then just gently pull it up. Look at that. Adorable. So now we still need our placement guide, but we need our fabric. And so just put it right over. Get any fuzzies you might have. I have a lot of fuzz right there. And again, just make sure that you're covering the 4 trim lines, the 8-inch trim line, and we have the 2 pieces ready to go. This block is really easy to put together. I am gonna be honest with you. It's not challenging to sew, but you are gonna wanna be really careful when you're sewing the teddy bear, and I'll give you some tips in just a second. And this is a time where, to me, if you're gonna do a straight stitch to make your life easy, it would be on these little pieces. I'll give you a little example. So we are going to press this, and then, we're gonna put it on the Steady Betty. There we go. So that's pretty much ironed on. Now, let me get to my Steady Betty. I have oddly things sitting on it. And right on top, we turn our light pad off now. And voila. Now we're gonna give this the final press to our fabric. And we're gonna be ready to sew. So let's talk about the sewing. First off, how cute is that little block? Oh my goodness. It makes me, for some reason, this block makes me think of the Nutcracker. I haven't seen the Nutcracker ballet in a few years, so maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. Maybe when I was a kid, this was how the stage looked. I don't know. I just think of gifts and little teddy bears and stuff, so I think of the Nutcracker. I could be nuts. Y'all could be saying, Brittany, what are you talking about? Or you could be like, I totally agree. I don't know. It's just happy and makes me want to see the Nutcracker this year. Okay, so when I'm talking about the stitching, everything is going to be the same size that you've used throughout. Even on the bow center, you don't have to take your stitching down at all. For me, that's a 2.5 by 2.5. However, when we get to the heart and then the little feetsies, hands, and the ears, and then the nose, I took the stitch down. So for inside here, I went down to, I think it was like a 1.2 or a 1.3. Right here on his little hands and feet, the dark brown parts, I took it down to about a 1.5 or a 1.6, somewhere in there, pretty small, but not as small as I did for the ears. And then on the nose, I did the same as I did for the ears, a much smaller stitch, because again, what you don't want to have happen is have all your stitches meet in the center or zip and make like a funny little, you don't want to just only see your stitching basically. You want the stitching to bring your little teddy bear to life, right? Now let's talk about the colors that we use. There are 2 different browns being used. Or no, we used all the same brown for that. That's right. I knew there was something that I wanted to make sure to point out. So we have the turquoise just a little bit on the left and right of the snow. Then our avocado is the center of our box and then around the edge of this first box. And it's really funny because to me this is like a mint green kind of looking, but that avocado thread looks just beautiful on it. It's like a magic color. And then on this top box, on top of that curry blossom, we have the butterfly gold. Then our true red is, of course, the bow in the center of the bow. And then the medium tawny tan, that's what I'm talking about. We used that on all of the teddy bear, including the darker brown pieces. And that just really made it like pop and stand out. And then the sweet pink is the heart. And then, of course, at the very end, you'll put the black thread on your machine to stitch the nose and then the little mouth accent line and your two eyes for accents. So that's it for this block. It was a very fun little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you ever have any questions making this block or any other Stitches of Love projects, don't hesitate to reach out at stitchesoflovequilting.com and click on support, or you can comment on the video if you have a stitch question and I'll answer as fast as I can. Happy stitching!